The door was locked, the dog was growling, and two grown men were pressed against the wall, shaking like they'd never been so scared in their entire lives. They thought it was going to be an easy job. They had no idea who lived in that house. Hey everyone, I'm Faith, and today I want to tell you the story of Cole Harrington, a decorated Navy SEAL, his loyal German Shepherd Titan, and the night two thugs made the worst decision of their lives. Cole Harrington didn't look like much from the outside. He was a quiet guy, kept to himself, lived in a modest house on the edge of a small town in Virginia. Neighbors knew him as polite, calm, and reserved. What they didn't know was that Cole had spent over a decade serving in some of the most dangerous special operations the United States military had ever run. He had seen things most people couldn't imagine, and through all of it, one thing had stayed constant by his side: Titan, his German Shepherd, his partner, his best friend. Titan wasn't just a pet. Cole had trained him personally, using the same techniques he learned during his years of service. Titan could detect danger before any human in the room even felt it. He was disciplined, powerful, and completely devoted to Cole. People in the neighborhood loved seeing them walk together in the mornings. Cole in his plain gray hoodie, Titan trotting proudly beside him like he owned the street. But if you're enjoying this story so far, do me a quick favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you never miss stories like this one. And tell me down in the comments, do you believe animals can truly sense danger before humans do? I'd love to hear what you think. Now on a cold Tuesday night in late November, Cole had just returned from a ceremony where he'd been quietly honored for his years of service. He was still in his dress uniform when he pulled into the driveway. He let Titan out into the backyard, went inside to change, and didn't think twice about the dark blue sedan that had been parked across the street for the last 20 minutes. Darnell and Joey had been watching the neighborhood for 3 nights. They weren't professionals. They were desperate, reckless, and dangerously overconfident. They had targeted Cole's house because it looked quiet, easy, the kind of place where nobody would put up a fight. When they saw the big German Shepherd in the backyard, Darnell actually laughed and told Joey they'd just toss the dog some food and it'd be fine. He had no idea what kind of dog Titan was. They hopped the fence just after midnight. Titan heard them before their feet even touched the grass. He didn't bark wildly or run around in circles. He went completely still, locked his eyes on both of them, and let out one low, steady growl that stopped both men dead in their tracks. Joey looked at Darnell. Darnell looked at Joey. And for just a second, they both felt something they couldn't explain. Like every instinct in their body was screaming at them to turn around and run. They didn't listen. Darnell reached into his jacket and pulled out a piece of rope, thinking he could restrain the dog. That was the moment Titan moved. Fast, precise, and completely controlled. He cut off their path to the back door, herded them toward the corner of the yard, and held them there with nothing but his presence and that low, terrifying growl. Neither man could move without Titan shifting instantly to block them. It was like being guarded by something that had been trained for exactly this moment, because he had been. Cole heard the commotion from inside, looked out the window, and saw exactly what was happening. He didn't panic. He didn't grab a phone first. He calmly walked to the back door, opened it just enough to speak, and said 2 words to Titan. The dog sat. Then Cole stepped outside, still in his Navy dress uniform, medals and all, looked at both men slowly, and said in the quietest voice imaginable, "You picked the wrong yard." He called the police, walked back inside, and locked the back gate from a panel by the door. Darnell and Joey spent the next 40 minutes standing frozen in that corner, too terrified to move, while Titan watched them without blinking. When the officers arrived and asked Cole what happened, he just pointed to the yard, smiled slightly, and said, "Titan handled it." Sandra Hobbs from next door had seen the police lights and came out to check. When the officers told her what those 2 men had tried to do, She just shook her head and said, "They really didn't know who lived here, did they?" No, Sandra, they really didn't. Here's what this story leaves behind. Courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a man who's been through more than words can describe, standing quietly in a uniform he earned, letting his loyal companion speak first. Cole never raised his voice. He never lost control. He simply trusted Titan, trusted his training, and handled the situation with the calm of someone who had faced real danger and knew exactly what this wasn't. Titan didn't just protect a house that night. He protected the dignity of a man who had given everything for his country and deserved to come home to peace. So here's my question for you today. Have you ever witnessed an animal protect someone in a way that left you speechless? Drop your story in the comments, because I genuinely want to read every single one. And if this story moved you even a little, please subscribe to the channel. There are so many more stories like this one waiting for you here. Faith will see you in the next one.